Hello there, Dr. Linda coming by to have a chat with you today. And I have a question, as always. What are your limiting beliefs? So if you want to put them in, I would appreciate that. That would be great, and we can chat about them. Now, it's interesting. I know Steve Krivda. He's very, very good at talking about limiting beliefs and God's abundance, and that is like groundwork. And also with limiting beliefs, so often I see children receiving sort of the lack of confidence. I remember a number of years ago, the book, I think it's I'm Okay, You're Okay. And I was teaching yoga and working with children to enhance their self-esteem. And I remember one of the things we had such fun with is we'd all crouch down, we'd each have a partner, and we'd look into each other's eyes and we would say, I'm okay. And we would jump up and then we go down again and we look into each other's eyes and we would say, and you're okay, and jump up. And there was just such a happiness, such a just a simple raising of heart energy and feeling good in the moment, feeling good with yourself, feeling good with the person who was your partner, feeling good about life, even as a little child, starting there to nourish. So for you parents with children, also grandchildren, whatever you can do to love that child, to nourish that child so that they feel good about themselves, they feel good about life. And thank you for stopping in, Satina. I appreciate that. And so this is so important. So as I worked with children, obviously over the years, I've worked with many, many adults. And the other thing is, we always work with ourselves. We're always growing. We're always moving. And often you may find there are times that you give out a positive affirmation and the person, it just doesn't come back. There's a very negative wall up or there's anger, etc. And you may simply have to let that energy coming at you go, okay? It's almost like putting on your armor for the day, but having your heart ignited to give love out. Now, one of the things that I find in working with people, working with patients, hi, Chris, good to see you. And I hope you're doing well. And so when I'm working with people, often they say one of their limiting beliefs is, I'm just too old. Well, the thing is, if you believe that you're too old, then that's how you're going to act. And obviously, it's going to be your groundwork of thinking. And I know there is this model, Cindy Joseph. She wasn't a top model until she was 50 years old, okay? Beautiful model with her gray hair and whatever, absolutely beautiful. And then she has gone on to create a blue makeup and skincare for older women so that they are very comfortable with who they are and project how they look and how they feel from the inside. So she's quite an example. You are never, ever too old. If you can breathe, you can do great things, okay? And another thing I find, a number of people, they feel they're not smart enough, they don't have enough education. And again, they may not say it per se, but their actions will show it. They're afraid to try something different. They're afraid to sort of go beyond their comfort zone. And often, again, as I say, it's more their actions or their lack of actions. So if you have that feeling, and I used to have a dear friend, she's passed on now, who was totally, totally brilliant. And she never got a degree. And I used to say, who cares? She had basically self-educated herself. She was totally brilliant. She could talk on any subject. She could carry herself so well. And yet she would confide in me, I don't have my piece of paper. So be very careful of that. Realize the beauty you've got inside. Realize you've got an awesome brain. And if you do want to learn something new, whatever the age or stage of life, there are books out there. There's Google out there. My goodness, you can become totally, totally brilliant. And so look for courses, look for material on Google, and just simply go out and start doing things that you have an interest in, because it's important more the vibration of who you are. It's not the bookwork. It's not your degrees, etc., etc. It's who you are in your core. Work on that. Just awesome being that you are. Bring it out. Let the sun shine on it. Okay? And so again, I always say, what do I have to learn from this? It's a Wayne Dyer quote. He would always say, no matter what happens in life, what do I have to learn from this? And then go on and learn it. Another limiting belief that I hear a lot, people will say, well, I'm afraid of failing. Well, my gosh, talk about two contradictions in one thought, in one sentence, afraid of failing. So be very, very careful working on your thoughts and working on the words that you're saying to yourself. They are absolutely powerful. It was Yoda who said, there isn't try, there is only do. So you do, okay? I'm going to hand the torch to you. You do. And I think another thing as well is with the words, and we've talked about this before, using words like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be a win. I feel really good about it. Something very positive is going to happen. So the more you feed and nourish that into your brain, and then you go forward and you start doing baby steps in areas that possibly you have limiting beliefs in, and yet they're areas that you want to accomplish more in, okay? So things you can do, they're out there. So you just have to do them, step at a time. The other thing people have said to me, well, I just don't have the money to do it. So whatever it may be, it could be a course, it could be some books that you want to purchase, it could be something that you want to do that is going to cost money. Well, if it is important enough, then you will either sell something or go out and do something extra to earn a little bit of money. If whatever it is to break through the ceiling of your limiting belief is important to you, you will find a way, okay? Very important. And other people have said, well, I've tried everything, just everything, and I didn't get the desired result. I didn't get the outcome I wanted. Well, have you really? Have you really tried 100% at something? Because so often we'll only go so far and then we'll go, oh, it's too much. I give up. So if it's important enough, you will find a way and you will give it your 100%. Maybe even it could be getting a coach, having a coach to help you step by step. We do that a lot, and that's very, very important. Working with your mindset, very, very essential. And then having someone teach you and guide you, and also someone that you will have to measure up to in whatever work they've given you to take those baby steps. Very important. And of course, some people just say, well, it's really just too selfish of me to want to become better and want to raise the scale, raise the bar. Well, actually, you think of Bannister with his, I believe it was 6-minute mile. Can you imagine if he said, well, you know, really, I just shouldn't run that mile, you know, at this speed. I really better not do that. My gosh, like if you crunch down, it's like pulling yourself in. And if you're not moving, you're dying. So to open up and become who that person is inside of you, become that person that you want to be, okay? And also surround yourself with people who are like the person that you want to become. Like everything's energy, and you will absorb some of the energy, your thoughts, your actions. You will start to become more like the people that you are around. That's the golden nugget. Others say, well, I don't really feel that I deserve it. Well, my gosh, as Steve Krifft said, God has abundance everywhere, or whatever your belief may be. We see abundance in our world all around us. And so we need to step out and open up to abundance. And as we open up and we become more of who we are, we also have more to give back into the world, and it raises to another scale. reciprocity, excuse me. And it's like the giving and the receiving. And the more that you're giving, it doesn't have to always be money necessarily. The more that you are giving, the more that will be coming back in whatever way is going to be appropriate for you. Okay? So it's like the flow of energy. And that is just so essential. Like you're breathing. You can't just breathe in and take everything and quit breathing out. So think about that in what you're taking in from the world, but even more so, you're giving out and then you breathe in what is due to you, okay? You're breathing, your very breath, energy. So many people say to me, well, I really don't have the willpower. I just can't be bothered. Well, if that's where your mindset is at, what you're thinking, therefore you're not going to be doing. If you have, for example, a family that you're raising and you don't want to do the extra work to enhance their lives, your children's lives, your wife, your husband, you just want to be sort of a deadbeat, I just don't feel like it, and go just sit on the couch and veg, well, think about it. You're going to shrivel up again and just wither away. So if you don't have that inner gut determination to do a little bit more to raise the bar in your life, in your family's life, and your children are watching. They're watching you and they're taking in what you're thinking, saying, doing, okay? That's your responsibility. So grow up. And another one more on a personal level, I had this from patients. They'll go, as far as relationships, they'll say, well, all the good ones are taken. Well, they're not. There's like millions and millions of good people out there. So one of the things I will say to them, and I will say it to you right now, if you can sit down, possibly when we're done, and write down, if you're looking for someone in your life, a man or woman, sit down with pen and paper and write down, well, what would you like in that person that you would just love to meet? So it could be love, loyalty, qualities of integrity, honesty, giving, caring person. And after you're done writing what you would like to find in that life partner, then take those qualities and you become those very qualities that you want in that person, okay? Working on that. And again, surrounding yourself with people who are like that, people that you want to be like. Get into that energy and you will absorb the energy, the words, the actions, and you will become more. And again, the bar will be raised, okay? So lastly, a wonderful book I'd like to leave you with. It's Dr. Dain Heer, and it's called Being You, Changing the World. If you could pick that book up, awesome, awesome book for self-growth. And I know one of his things he's always saying, when something comes up in life, you go, oh, wow, this is awesome. And how much better than this can it get? And then you go with that up energy. Okay? I love you. Take care. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.